Hey folks, so we are doing some hive splits today. Right now I'm out here by myself, but I'm going to take you with me as we split these hives into two. One hive will get the queen, one hive will not get the queen. We've got some new queens that are supposed to be arriving today. In fact, that's why I'm out here by myself. My dad is actually waiting on the arrival of the queens so that we can get those into the new hives. But it occurred to me, you guys aren't ever with me when we do our pregame, so to speak. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna let y'all get to see me get this smoker going. Now this is normally on a hinge, but we've had this smoker for a bit and the hinge is broken. We just haven't taken the time to actually fix it for real. It works fine this way, so we're good with that. So you get to light a fire in your hands. We use straw. You can use pretty much anything. The smoke isn't going to be on the bees long enough for any kind of negative effects. Oh, this might be a little bit damp. But we use hay. We've used straw, for instance, when we were in Georgia. We just don't want to buy it while we're up here in Kentucky, so we don't. We use this. But you can use cardboard. I have gone so far as to grab leaves off of the ground. I think a lot of beekeepers do that. Leaves off of the ground. Throw a couple of little small twigs in there to give that fire something to cling to, so that you can have good, smoke rolling for a good long time. But whatever you have handy is a great smoker fuel. You do want to make sure that it is lit. You have to either be cautious or incredibly stupid sticking your hand in there to make sure that you've got that fuel compressed, because sometimes it will ignite so well that you actually will have flame. You can't see that through the smoke, and so sometimes you'll stick your hand in there and come back with no hair on your hand. Ask me how I know. Anyway, so you gotta be careful with that, but otherwise, as you can see, there is nothing to it. But you do not want to be going into your hive if you do not have smoke. So that is one of those tools that you just cannot do without. So you need your fuel, you need your smoker, you need your fuel, you need your ignition source, and then you're ready to go. Of course, you need the wind to blow that smoke right back into your face like I just experienced. The other tool that is indispensable is the hive tool. There are several different designs. This is the one that I happen to have today. We also have a J-hook that you've seen us use in the past. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, I have not brought the nook body over that I'm going to be putting the hive into. I'm going to give these girls some smoke, then I'm going to go grab that. You'll get to watch that set up as well. All right? And if you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the comments, and I will address them as quickly as I can. We are going to be looking for the queen today as well, because we want to make sure we know which nook she is in. We do not want to put two queens into the same nook together. I'm going to go grab the nook bodies. Now that being said, as well as making these splits, we are going to be taking this 10 frame hive down to 5 frame nooks. So both halves will be going into a nook. The half with the queen, the nook with the queen, will be going to a separate location for a few days at least, so that they can get deacclimated to this location and reacclimated to the new location. And then for the winter, we will bring her back to this location, and we can put her anywhere in the bee yard we want to. If we put her in a different spot in this bee yard today, all of the bees that fly out will come back to this original spot. So we don't want that. We want them to come back to the hive wherever we have it. So we have to take them off site for a little bit and let them basically forget this place. All right, I'll be right back. I gotta go get lids. And now I've got 2 inner covers and 2 lids for the 2 new nooks. See if anybody has come on and asked any questions yet. Nope, no questions. Interesting. All right. So that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Propolis is both incredibly necessary in the bane of our existence, because they put that stuff everywhere. Look at that. How cool. All right. And from the get, we are going to go, oh, that beetle trap isn't going to do us any good. Look at that. It's raised up a couple of inches. The point is we want to get it flat on the frames so that when the bees chase the hive beetles, they walk across this black surface there and into these little holes. But if there's a gap there like we have here, then they don't do that. Instead, they run underneath it and get hidden from the bees, and it defeats the whole purpose. Alright, but for now, that's irrelevant. We're going to get rid of this anyway. For now. It will go into the nook. Watch out, girl. Move. Thank you. I don't know what you are, but you got to go. Some kind of little creepy crawly had gotten onto the frame. I don't know if y'all were able to see that in the video or not. I do have gloves. I'm gonna go ahead and show you. Here, watch out, girl. Oh, sorry. Well, let go. Thank you. You too. Come on. Let's go. Don't. Let go. Thank you. All right. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Yeah, there you go. That's how it works. The beetles will get down in there. The holes are too small for the bee, just big enough for the beetle to get in. And then we got the mineral oil in there. They get in there, they get stuck, they drown. Awesome. Oh man, I'm gonna do this without my veil because I also brought my coffee and I can't drink my coffee. So, oh, that's good. All right. So now we begin the sometimes arduous process of looking for the queen. You always want to start in areas, not necessarily on the outside. I tend to like the outside, but you want to go to areas of little to no, or at least the least amount of activity. In the areas of least amount of activity, you decrease the risk to the bees. You don't want to risk the bees if you can help it. Boy, y'all can't see it from your angle. You might have seen the hive tool just kind of do a little jump there. They have that propolis all the way. There we go. Break that loose. Watch out, girls. Watch out, girls. But as you can see, they're very gentle today, at least for now. I don't want to jinx myself. Very gentle today. All right, there we go. But you can also see that I am in my suit, because very gentle can change in an instant. And for the job we're doing today, it's an extremely invasive job. They're going to get frustrated at some point, and you're going to want to make sure that you're protected if you're doing this. So maybe we'll start with this one. Yep, we're going to start with this one. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Unless she is laying heavily, there's not too much risk. Well, it is what it is. There's not too much risk that you'll get the queen on those outside frames. They will have honey resources, and so you'll put that to the outside of one of your new nooks as a food source for them. She may not even be up in the top here. Oh. So we won't be sticking all of these hives, or all of these frames, into the bottom nook. We will go with a second story, because we definitely want to make sure that they have plenty of food. Yeah, that said, I don't know that I'm going to find any reason to look for her up here. So, I got some brood. Not a ton, but that does mean that we are potentially getting... I found the queen. She is up here. That is why you can always expect whatever you want to expect, but you are going to find what you find. And they're not always the same thing. All right, she is marked with a yellow dot. There she is. And she is beautiful. All right, you see her there? She's a fast little sucker. But now we know which nook she is in, and I am going to place that one to the interior, very gently, the interior nook. Now it's just a matter of filling that bad boy. So, and we don't want to leave that open for too long. So we're going to give her some space to lay right next door. This one looked fairly empty. I didn't see a whole lot of brood in there, I'm going to be real honest with you. But we are going to, there we go. There we go. And the queens that we have coming to us today are all mated queens. This time of year, we have raised some queens of our own, and we're really satisfied with that. But doing these splits, we need, and that's a queen cup right there and there. Anyway, we need the queens to already be mated. It's a little too late in the year to be worried about getting a, raising your own virgin queen and then making sure she's got time to get mated and all that kind of stuff. You really want to go ahead and give yourself a leg up. So that's what we've done. And we always want to make sure that we are trying to introduce new genetics into our bee yard. And so these queens that we've got coming in today will give us that opportunity to have those new genetics. So a couple of reasons for us ordering the new queens. All right, level, oh come on. Level 1 is done. Yep. They've got some brood in there to keep them happy. Man, I just about could have done this in shorts. I know I might be speaking too soon, but they are really gentle today. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on here. Fur comb is always in the way. They never put that stuff in locations that are convenient. Now, in many cases, for those of you with any experience with beekeeping, some of you may be familiar with the concept that you have to give the bees, when you take the queen away, you have to give them 24 hours before you introduce the new queen. The fact is, evidence shows that a colony of bees can be aware that they are queenless within an hour or so. Oh yeah, this has got, so we do have some drone walking around, but we don't have a ton of drone walking around, so this is not a good time of year to be trying to mate a queen from scratch. So I think we made the right decision. We got a lot of good young larvae in here, which is why we want to make sure that we get a queen introduced pretty quickly, because otherwise this queenless nook right here is going to go ahead and begin trying to raise their own queen. We don't want that. We want them to be queenless for a few hours, which is what's going to happen today, and then we're going to introduce them to their new mama. We don't want them raising their own. So they have built little bridge comb all the way down that wall. Bridge comb is where they either connect to the wall or to the frame next door or something of that nature. Now, because the sun, oh, I bet you I should probably give them some more smoke. Let's do that. There we go. All right, so we're almost done with our top super. As you can see, I've only got the 2 frames left. Now, we are going to add a second nook top to our nook body to each of these nooks that I have here so far, and the frames that are on the base, the lower super, they're going to go in there too. They either have honey or pollen in there. Some of them may be empty, but we are going to be feeding these bees directly. So even if the frames are empty, like this one feels kind of empty, so even if they're empty, we'll be giving them a food source, and so they'll be able to fill that with that syrup. Some research would argue that this nook right here that I'm working with now, that I did not put a queen into, some research would argue that they've already begun to notice that they don't have a queen anymore. I I can't confirm or deny that. I just think that's kind of a cool concept. Y'all hang out with me for just a minute and I'll come over there and check my screen to see if y'all have asked any questions or made any comments that I can react to. I love it when I do these Facebook Lives and I get y'all to respond, or I get y'all to ask questions or make statements or whatever, that I get to... Put that over me for just a minute. Anyway, I get to react to them. And then I go and I put this on my YouTube page, and your comment isn't there anymore, and so people come on and watch me on YouTube and they're like, what in the heck? Who is he talking to? I don't know if that happens, but I like to think about it and pretend that's what happens. All right, girl, let go. Wrong direction. All right, let me come around there and see my screen. All right, Angie has said hi. And then Angie said, hey, I found her. Yes, Angie, you did. All that by yourself. Congratulations on finding that queen with no help from me whatsoever. I am so incredibly proud of you. Yes, Dad, there is some small hive beetle in both of those traps. I'm not going to put a trap into the queen right nook, just for the record, since we're going to be moving her today anyway. I figured we could do that either tomorrow or something like that when they're not being jostled around. But yes, both beetle traps have small hive beetle in them. All right, I'm going to get back to loading up. That's the queenless nook right there, but as you can see, they're kind of balling up on the top, or climbing up to the top. They're looking for her, I think. All right, so here we are. Quick, girls. And here we are. All right. But Dad, I think you said something about they're really quiet, and yeah, they absolutely are. I had one just flying up at my mouth when I did a shake, so I put my veil back on, but for the most part, I think I'm about to take it off again. Predominantly because I want another sip of coffee. Let's see, Tana said, the kids are enjoying watching this video. We are learning about bees and the different insects, so I'll let them watch you today. Tana, that's really awesome. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. I try to be educational when I do these bees, but I also know that they're just fascinating, so people like to watch. But that's awesome that you're letting the kids watch this and learn from it. So here we go, back to the learning. That being said, Tana, if they have any questions, please feel free to post them in the comments. I will be more than happy to answer their questions. Live on Facebook, or whatever it's called, Facebook Live. All right, so I'm not worried about damaging the queen, but I am worried about potentially, boy, they've got bridge all the way through there. So we're gonna start over here on this side instead. They're leaping out at me. There we go, all right. Good grief, they've got this thing propolized. At some point, there we go. It tapers down at the base of the frame, so it does get easier to withdraw. But until then, yeah, see, this is an empty frame, but you can also see some of the damage done by what I was talking about, the bridge comb. That's damage done by the wax that attached to the sidewall. Troy Simpson, yes, we are putting a queen. We've got them on order. Actually, they were supposed to arrive yesterday. There was a shipping error, so they are arriving today. So my dad is actually waiting for the bees to arrive. That's the queens to arrive at his house, which is the only reason why he is not there. He's at his house chomping at the bit. We've got to get this done, so I came on ahead to do it. But I promise you, if I had volunteered to stay and wait for the queens, he would have absolutely taken me up on the offer. Which honestly is why I did not volunteer to do that, because we would both rather be here all day, any day. Oh, this is a good site. This has capped brood. I'm coming around to show you this as well. This has capped brood on it, so this will give them a nice little influx of nurse bees. Not that they necessarily need them for the queen, because again, they're not raising a new queen, but they are going to be raising new larvae, because they will get her, once she gets out of her cage, she will begin laying new eggs almost immediately. She won't be laying them, she won't be laying as heavily this time of year as she would, you know, say getting ready for spring. But she will be putting new eggs into this hive. So it's good that we've got a new batch of nurse bees that'll be hatching here real soon. Yep, here's another one. That's awesome. Couple of drones on here. This time of year though, you will notice a decrease in the number of drones. All right, so now I've got some honey down there in the lower frames, but now I'm going to save some of this. In fact, I'll go ahead and put some of this capped brood, because this one has capped brood on it too. I'm going to put this in the other one, because that mama is going to need some new nurse bees too. I gave her some capped brood down below, but we don't want her feeling neglected, do we? This doesn't have a ton, but that also indicates that this frame is closer to hatch. I do have some larvae in there as well. Anyway, we're gonna give this to mama. I'm seeing a lot of pollen, by the way, Dad, if you are still watching, I am seeing a lot of pollen on the legs of these girls. So we were just having a pollen sub conversation, he and I were, so for everybody else, so that you know, we were talking about pollen sub and whether we should put some on or not. We agreed that it's a good idea, but we also know that they're bringing it in from outside sources right now. We just want them to feel like they have an abundance. That encourages her to lay. And even though they're not going to be doing much harvesting this time of year, we still need a strong enough colony to go into winter that they will be able to maintain the strength of the hive, because somebody's got to keep those larvae warm and protected. All right, this has got a good amount of pollen, bee bread in there on this side, and as you can see, you got some good capped brood on this side, along with older larvae, so that'll give them a good stagger effect for the hatching nurse bees. And I know that the queen is down below. Oh, for crying out loud, this burr comb. I know that the queen is down below, but I keep putting the inner cover on anyway, just to kind of restrict her flight mobility. Now, since she's marked, her wings are probably clipped, which means that she's not going to fly. But honestly, I don't remember us talking about clipping the wings of queens, so she may not be. Anyway, I'd rather not risk it. Dad, if we clip your wings, let me know. Oh, sorry, girl. I did not mean for you to go right where I was working. All right, so as I said, there is not much in the way, and honestly, with the season that we've had, I would have been really surprised if this area was full of, if this super was full of honey. I would have been really surprised considering the season that we have had and the lack of honey production that we have had. Also, just as a humorous note for you, part of my beard just got caught up in the veil, and I honestly felt like I was being stung in the face. So there was a moment of, oh shoot, what the hell? All right, come on, let go. There we go. Yep, this has a lot of pollen in it. We're going to put that right here. Y'all, we're almost done with this first one. Don't worry, I'm going to take you along with me to the other ones too. Because one of the things that you learn as a beekeeper, no two hives are the same. Alright, that's got some larvae in it, it's got some capped brood. This, all in all, is going to end up being a very strong couple of hives going into winter. That is exactly, oh, there we go. It's exactly what we want. There we go. No matter what your fuel source, you're going to have to re-up at some point. I will say that this straw does not burn slowly, so we have to replace it quite a bit. But it's got a decent aroma to it, and if you're going to have to be smelling it the whole day, might as well smell good. I like the smell of cardboard. My dad does not, which I think is hysterical that we are each so different, but we definitely are. All right, now that said, I know I've got 3 frames left to put into Mama's hive, but we also have some bees that need to be shaken off. I'm going to shake those off into Mama's hive because the queen, dang this burr comb, the queenless hive is going to stay here in the location of the original hive. So all of the harvesters that are out now, when they come home, they're going to come home to this one that I'm working on right now. So they've got an influx of bees coming. So I'm gonna shake off the bees that are in the hive right now, up on the walls and stuff. I'm gonna shake them off into Mama's hive. If they had swarmed, the flyers would have gone with her anyway. And this is supposed to feel a little bit like swarming for her, so that she dismisses the idea. And the reason that is important is because there were a lot of bees in here, and they didn't have a lot of space in here, and that usually leads to them thinking it's time to go. So we don't want them to have that feeling. Not this late in the year for sure. Okay, so that one for now, is done. This is the queenless hive that will be staying here. Let me see what my screen says. Does anybody talk to me? Are you putting the queen in the queenless hive? As soon as UPS delivers, yeah. Okay, so see, queens are to be put in later today. Wanted to go to state meeting in Frankfurt, so hoping to get them done. Yeah. Yeah, so we're putting those in today. For anybody who's watching or asking about that, we're putting the queens in today as soon as they arrive from UPS. And by the time we put them in, the queenless hive, the current queenless hive, will have been queenless long enough for them to be wanting a new mama. So, we'll be providing that. All right, so this is relatively empty, which is good. That gives them room for storage. It's freshly drawn out this year, not completely drawn out, so I'm not going to put it to the outside. We'll let them have a different frame on the outside where they can fit more honey. Ah, for crying out loud. Well, they've really been building bridges from comb to comb this year. We have torn this one to shreds. I don't know what the deal is with that. Yeah, I hear you, girls. You think you're upset with me now, just wait a few seconds. Nothing on there either. Okay. But that gives them storage room for the food that we're going to be providing them. And that is great. All right. So I'm going to see if I can't give y'all a look down in there. See all those bees? Some of you may be curious about what's about to happen. We refer to this as beekeeping 101. And there we go. That hive has been dealt with. Quick, girls. And now this hive, oh, well, here, let's put this lid back on. I'm going to keep separation between the two. Put that down here. Leave that one down there. Oh. Actually, I guess technically I can block them off, can't I? Because we're moving them anyway. Oh, damn. Let's see what. But here, look at that entrance. Let me show you that entrance real quick. This is what I was referring to. They're just flying right on in. They've been wondering what happened to my house. And I gave them their house, and they're just flying right on. Now, they will fly around over to the outside for a little while, simply because they're used to a much longer entrance. But they won't do that for long. They'll figure it out pretty quickly. And then this one over here, that's with Queen Mama. And you'll see that we don't have as many going in and coming out of there. All right. Y'all ready to go to the next hive? I'm ready to go to the next hive. Let's go. My coffee. we are going to work this behemoth. Now I'm going to angle this one a little bit differently because I'm going to set a couple of the nooks up over there on that empty hive stand just for space. Let's see what breed of queen. Dad, I'm glad you're here. I didn't see that question until you're replying to it. Yep. Yep, Dad, I'm glad you're here. All right. So I've got two of them on this one that are going to be staying. So we'll be right here. Two of them there to stay in, so I'm going to set one of them up here because that's going to go from this spot. All right, girls, get ready for showtime. Same thing this time with just more, woo, girls, hello. Just more supers. That's got some weight to it. Yeah, this is a full honey frame right here. Nice. Look at that. Same thing. Yep, same thing. This one looks like it has some capped brood in it. Yeah, a little bit of capped brood. No egg. A lot of pollen. Recent hatch. God, it's purple. Damn. Boy, she decided she didn't like what I was doing. Lots of caps on this one too. Queen cup. Nothing in it. A lot of larvae. She's not on here, but she has been recently. Ooh, damn it. Thankfully no larvae or anything was damaged from that. That's frustrating. Interestingly enough, Dad, if you're still watching, this is one of the foundation frames I was talking about we were going to need to replace. And they have drawn it out. No cleaner. I might have to put my gloves on. All right. Yeah. That too is a beautiful frame of honey. Oh, I think I may have found it. From this angle, it looks like it might be a queen cell. That's interesting. Never seen one like that, but I've also never seen one on the edge of wax comb. But I'm gonna put that right there in the center. We may have had a supersedure. But that said, and that will be the queen nook. That one's going to leave a mark. It went in deep. Oh yeah, I dug up the remainder of that splinter out of my hand, and it instantly feels better. Oh, I do believe that was a queen cell. I do not believe I am going to find a queen, but I don't believe we can be too cautious of it. So I am just going to keep looking as if I did not find a queen cell. Queen cup, and they are definitely preparing it. There's another queen cup. That one has larvae in it. Yeah. It's what, 3, 4, 3? Fine. We'll do this one. Don't do it, girl. Yeah, y'all hang out. I'm gonna go get my glove. They can sting all they want to now. Well, I was hoping I could do this without taking my glove off, but here we go. All right, so they are all over me. I'm gonna come back here into the, yeah, they are coming from my hands. There we go. All right, there we go. Whew. Anyway, as you can see, they are all over me right now. I just worked a number over on their homes. So, to actually make and sell your own honey, Tiffany, yes, we do. We don't have any this season because we've just had a really dry season, but we do actually produce our own honey. I'll see what I can't do for you. That said, as you can see, they're all over me. I've got several more hives to do, but if you've been around for any length of time today, you'll notice that my ability to be able to work and talk to the camera is decreasing. So I'm going to focus on getting my bees taken care of, getting these splits made, and you know, maybe I'll do some recording for TikTok or something like that. I don't know why I just put my glove on. I've got to, there we go, turn this thing off. Anyway, so thank you guys for joining. I appreciate that, appreciate the questions, appreciate your interest. If you do have any questions, continue to make comments on this video once it's posted to Facebook, and I'll be more than happy to address them. You can send me messages and I'll address them that way. Otherwise, today I've got to work. Y'all have a great one.